13 WMAZ came on the television airwaves in 1953. However, WMAZ Radio began broadcasting about 30 years earlier, in 1922. That means this week marks the 100th anniversary. Suzanne Lawler tells us about a series of podcasts that relives the highlights of what went out on the air.
Celebrating the 100th birthday of WMAZ Radio, now known as NewsTalk940 WMAC.
Ben Sandifer loves history, and he's always stayed close to his broadcast roots. He spent 1977 through 1980 with WMAZ as a disc jockey and later went into sales. When WMAZ hit the century mark on October 30th, he was ready.
Well, it started as a 2-hour radio special back in 2000, and the station's 100th birthday was just too good to pass up. That doesn't happen but once in a lifetime, and doesn't happen to a lot of stations.
So now you can check out 4 different podcasts that chronicle life through the speakers back to 1922.
One of my favorite things to do was to read the menu from Lindbergh's.
The station actually started as a physics project on the campus of Mercer University.
And the many people you heard that became like family.
Of course, people remember Date with Dell. That was for a long time on radio and television.
And weatherman Bill Powell.
Bill Powell, who had a long radio career before he was a TV weatherman. Bill Tribble, who was news director for both radio and television.
He hopes it's a trip down memory lane for some, and for others, well, a history lesson of sorts.
And maybe learn something about, for a different generation to learn how things used to be. Because in the early days, everything was live. There was no reel-to-reel tape.
Sandifer played records, used carts, then CDs. And now it's not lost on him that the guy who is celebrating the past is using podcasts to deliver his message.
It's kind of, in a way, what certain elements of radio have become now.
Suzanne Lawler, 13 WMAZ News.
Today, WMAZ Radio is now WMAC, and it's owned by Cumulus, the broadcast from downtown Macon. We will put a link inside this story on 13WMAZ.com so you can check out the podcasts.